just finished watching 2020's Another Round, currently streaming on Hulu. The story is written and directed by Thomas Vinterberg and tells the story of 4 high school teachers who are friends who embark on a social experiment to see how their life will be impacted once they maintain a 0.5 level percent of consistent alcohol.
0.05.
0.05, sorry. Consistent.
Although they go way beyond.
Well, at first, no. Yes, but and how that impacts their lives if they consistently keep it at that level. I believe it's only during school time, right? Not on the weekends. Initially.
Initially.
There were some terms to it.
There were some terms. It was you didn't drink after 8 o'clock.
No, right.
And
after 8.
And not on the weekends.
Not on the weekends.
And it was supposed to be some philosopher or whatever decided that human beings are born with 0.05% too little alcohol in their bloodstream. So in order to be a normal, truly functioning human being, one must always
kick it up a notch
and have at least a 0.05 level of alcohol in their blood. So,
which to me just seems like this guy's excuse to just party down, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Some people they just. I think like the overall I guess the ideal goal was just have enough in your bloodstream to take away any anxiety or whatnot. And I don't know what maybe I don't know what the message of this movie was, because it seemed like they were like saying, yeah, this is a good idea. This is 3 out of the 4 guys. It worked out kind of great for them.
Kind of. I mean, it was funny because it seemed like in the beginning it impacts them all differently, or not negatively, I should say.
Well, I think we should basically say this is the story of Martin.
Yes, I mean, Martin's definitely the lead in this.
He's the main protagonist, Mads Mikkelsen.
Uh-huh.
Although, is that how you pronounce it? I always pronounce it Mads. I heard it's not Mads.
I heard it's something else. Yeah.
But we're Americans, so we call him Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes, because we don't know any better. But yeah, it's pronounced differently. And Tommy, Peter, and Nicholas.
Yeah, it was.
Nicholas was the big ringleader. He's the one that started.
He's the guy who came up with who first mentions the philosophy, because I think he was like a philosophy teacher at the school.
I think Peter was. Remember the kid that he's like, here, just have a drink?
Peter was the music teacher. I don't know why Peter was the one doing the exam or proctoring that exam.
Oh, that's right. He was the music teacher.
Peter was the music teacher, and
yeah, why was he proctoring the exam?
I don't know.
That's so weird. You would think that what's his name would be in there.
Yeah,
Nico. That is strange. Okay.
But anyway, Martin is basically at a point in his life where he feels that he is becoming boring, I guess, or he's noticing that
nothing brings him joy.
Nothing brings him joy. He's getting like sort of slammed at school by the students who are saying that his teaching is not preparing them for these exams, and these exams that are coming up are super important
in order to get into
college. The parents are concerned. His wife and him have a barely there relationship. She's a nurse, so she's like constantly taking night shifts, and he's at work all day, so their communication seems to basically just be to say hello and goodbye. He's got 2 sons that he doesn't really communicate with that much, and he's clearly in a major rut.
Yes.
Like his life is he's reached a point where I guess he's just comfortable, but his life is basically just working and no joy is coming from it.
Right.
And then I forget. Oh, it was his friend's birthday. Nicholas's birthday.
Yeah, that's how
that's where the discussion begins. And initially, Martin isn't even going to have anything to drink because he's going to drive.
And he was responsible.
And he was responsible, but then everybody was just like they started talking about this weird theory, and Martin decides, yeah, you know what? They're talking about this. They're saying how delicious the champagne is. let's just have a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
And he ends up having a great night. The first time you see him smile during the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, we've all seen Mads Mikkelsen. He is...
a commanding presence, but still a very dour face.
He's, anything you see him in, he's just always so, like, you see, he's like the picture of control.
Yes.
And just kill you and just walk by. He doesn't.
He really was. He doesn't even look
when he shoots you while you're begging for your life on the floor. He's that guy.
Yeah.
And he has that bearing about him. And now you see him, and he's laughing. Him and his friends are having a great conversation. They're talking about their younger days when Martin was doing jazz ballet.
Is that even a thing?
We get to see it.
Yeah,
he's phenomenal at it. And so the next day or whatever, he decides, you know what?
I'm on board with this.
I'm going to give this thing a shot.
Yeah.
And Nicholas finds out, and then the other two friends, they get pulled in, and they're like, you know what? I saw you, Martin, and you were amazing in your class.
Yeah.
I think there's something to this. And Nicholas is like, let's write a paper about it. So this way, this isn't just some ridiculous waste of time. Let's really study the benefits and effects of this philosophy. And like, it starts out promising. I mean, you still have this feeling that it's like maybe 25% let's do the research and 75% let's just use this as an excuse to get a little bit tipsy at work. And it leads to a lot of
funny situations,
but it's not really. It's not a comedy.
It's
just
kind of. I mean, there's funny moments. There's some funny lines. I mean, we both laughed. There were parts where we both laughed.
Yes. There's definitely funny moments.
But much like life, it's messy. There's some tragedy and some uncomfortableness, I guess, and things. I would say things begin getting a little bit out of hand as they decide to ramp up the experiment a bit to the point where it becomes damaging. Yes. And I feel like, I don't know about you, but I feel like the direction that the story took was somewhat predictable.
What, you mean like with Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Tommy, even in the beginning, Tommy seemed to be...
kind of like the odd man out.
The odd man out, because I gotta be honest, I don't know if there was really... Tommy seemed okay in the beginning. I don't think he was really trying to get any sort of like work-life benefit out of it.
Right.
I mean, he did get one. Mm-hmm. Getting that little boy to basically be loved by the rest of the other kids. Mm. But yeah, I don't think he needed to do it, and he definitely didn't need to do it as far as he did.
Yeah.
Plus, he didn't really have much of a support system around him.
No, he didn't. I mean, even the Peter character has, like, I guess, a girlfriend by the end, right? There's like a girl. Nico was married. Martin was married, so they had their families and stuff. So they had something outside of work to tether them. Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed this. It was interesting. I'd been meaning to watch it, and it won an Academy Award for Best Foreign Film. Although I don't think they call it that anymore. I think it's called International something. I forget. And the director gave a sweet speech. He dedicated the movie to his daughter, who passed away, unfortunately, very suddenly. And at the crux of this story, it feels like it's about how life doesn't prepare you, but that ultimately in the end, things work out and you'll be okay. I mean, I think that's what I felt like the story was trying to tell me.
I don't know if it's about things just working out and being okay. I think it's more that you can't rely on a crutch. Life happens, good and bad. And when the bad things happen and you sort of feel like, what am I doing? I'm just sort of spinning my wheels, and you're sort of like looking for something that can maybe give you that push out of it. And in this movie, they think it's getting drunk every day. It doesn't work out that way because it's still a crutch. The true change is going to come from within you.
Right.
And while the results of all of this did bring a lot of stuff to light and did help Martin move on, and he'll be a better person for it, he can't live life doing that.
Sure.
And I think he understands it, but it doesn't mean that you can't have some kind of joy in your life or find joy or enjoy life. You know, I mean, I guess alcohol is there. Don't be a prude about it. Don't be a drunk.
Right.
But
use it wisely.
Use it wisely. Exactly. And at the end, it's like a joyous celebration. Fortunately for him, life took the turn in the direction that he wanted it to go, but that didn't have anything to do with the drinking.
No.
If anything, the drinking brought to light something that existed long before the drinking even began.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I don't really see it as.
Well, I interpret
everything's going to work out at the end, because honestly, it could have.
It could have gone the other direction.
Gone the other way.
But that's what I mean. I think my interpretation was that, so he was living this kind of, he was just going through the motions in his life. He wasn't, like you said, he wasn't finding joy. He wasn't creating joy.
He was like spinning his wheels.
Yeah, he lost his love for teaching. He wasn't really in sync with his partner. He didn't seem like he really bonded with his sons. So when this opportunity presented itself, it was almost like, I mean, he was always this Martin. He was always this person, but the alcohol kind of gave him...
It made him feel like he can go back to that.
Right, exactly. And it sort of gave him that push that he needed to make the changes. And I think by making those changes, he realizes that he himself has to be present. I think the wife said that. She made a comment about that, like, you're not even here. She gets on him about something, but then another secret comes out, which is pretty explosive and changes the whole family dynamic. And that's what I mean, like, how things just work out in the end. I mean, we don't, as people, have any control in our lives. And when difficult situations present themselves, there's your choice. How are you going to deal with this? Are you going to let this thing sink you to the bottom of the ocean, or are you going to rise above and float and survive and continue? And that's basically what life is. And to me, this movie, with I guess the tragedy in the director's own personal life, is kind of like a love letter to just embracing it. Everything about life, everything about your own life, the good and the bad, and reconciling and understanding that these things happen, and to just march forward. And look forward rather than it was almost like he learned to look forward rather than using the alcohol as a crutch to grasp onto his past. Right. And that's what I meant about, like, how, like, you kind of just roll with it, because in a lot of ways, people, like Martin's character, he just kind of accepted that this was his life for who knows how long, but he comes to realize that he is an active participant in his own fate. And I think that was what was great about it, because he comes to this realization, and some people come to it earlier in life and some people come to it way later in life, but everyone, I remember somebody once told me, and this always stayed with me, that everyone's given gifts. Everyone is given gifts. It just depends on when you open them, right? And I think that's so powerful, because so many people feel like, and I think Martin too, prior to the experiment, was like, well, this is the life I've been given. He sort of just played dead. He wasn't an active participant. Even in his own story, he wasn't an active participant. He was just going through the motions. But once he got the courage and the confidence and the bravery to embrace that life, things changed. And some of it much like life, wasn't easy, and it was messy, and it was hurtful, but in the end, he got to a better place. And I think that also is powerful in itself. Do you want to add anything else?
No.
I on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this movie an 8.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
8. It's solid script. Fantastic, really good storytelling. I mean, it's not a complicated story. It's basically boom, boom, boom. You go from point A to point B. It's laid out very well. You have phenomenal performances by everyone.
Yeah.
Even the minor characters, even like Martin's wife and Nicholas's wife. Like they all. This was such a beautiful, lovely movie, and there were comedic elements to it, but again, it's probably more dramatic. Some of the stuff was a little cringy. You see how certain decisions are made, and you're like, maybe you don't want to do that, but it gets done anyway to very catastrophic effect.
Yeah. Step 3 or stage 3.
Yes,
like,
stage 3 should not have been a thing. The scenery, this is obviously filmed in Denmark, is beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful
Country, gorgeous, and costuming, great job, set pieces, set design, great work. Cinematography, it's not the most ambitiously photographed shot movie, but it's still pleasing. Something about the color palette was very interesting to me. I can't put my finger on it, but there was like a vibrancy to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought that also added to like just the overall feel of the film. Yeah, I can't say enough about it. It is a foreign language film, so if you
make sure you have the subtitles turned on.
Make sure you have the subtitles turned on. Unless I don't think they offered a dub version. No, I think it was just subtitles, right? Or you can hear it in Danish if you're familiar with the language.
Like Patton Oswalt is the voice of Maggie Nicholson.
That would have been amazing. But yeah, I mean, just really top to bottom, a great piece of storytelling, and absolutely deserved of the Oscar award for foreign language film. I don't know what else to add. I feel like I want to say something else about this movie, but I don't know what it is.
I don't think it's necessary.
Wrap it up. I just want to say that if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and check out Another Round, which is currently streaming on Hulu. Just really good, really fun, and just satisfying storytelling.
Yes, definitely a satisfying story.
Yeah, and the end was great. I hope we didn't give too much away, but the end is great. I didn't expect that end for some reason.
Yeah, the end was really nice, and like you said, it is unexpected, but it's joyous, and it's just great, and it's nice seeing Mads Mikkelsen do something that wasn't, like I said, some guy just soullessly killing people or delivering scary lines of dialogue, eating people
with
or
those
something.
Cold eyes of his that bore through your skin. Yeah, he really was the best Hannibal Lecter. I mean, kudos to Anthony Hopkins, but to me, it'll always be Mads. And then it's funny that you mentioned that the movie he did with Vanessa Hudgens that we watched, that he was like an assassin.
Oh, that one, yeah.
That was crazy too. Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was fun. I mean, not on this level, but
I forgot what it was called.
I forgot what it was called too. It was based on a graphic novel or something.
I don't know.
I don't even remember.
It was,
but I thought it was good.
The lone hitman who gets pulled back into the business.
Yeah.
That trope. It was
good.
She
was the daughter of victim, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember there was a lot of killing in it.
There was a ton of killing, which was right in our wheelhouse.
Flopping boobs. I remember there was a scene with that.
We saw that on Netflix, right? I think.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the film, but yeah, I enjoyed it. But this is better than that. I mean, the other thing, horrible violence.
I mean, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was
like
popcorn. That was
yeah.
mindless fun.
But
this is like a true story.
This is an
interesting
ode to life.
Yeah, ode to life. I really enjoyed the friendship that these guys had.
Yes,
that really
it was completely believable.
It was completely believable. That it really holds your interest. That's something in films that it's like
it
gold.
Could be hit or miss.
It's seriously, it's so valuable when everybody has good chemistry with each other, and you believe that these guys are friends.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, you're like, because he's like so reserved. Martin is so reserved. You're thinking meeting with his friends isn't really going to amount to much. We probably won't see these guys again. But then he starts loosening up, and you see the playful interactions between all of them. The guys messing around with guys, that sort of thing, and it's in like this fancy restaurant. That's another thing. They're doing it in this like very nice restaurant, so you think, oh, they're not going to act up or anything, but they have fun. And it's one of those things in movies that brings such joy and entertainment to a viewer to see. Right. You love that sort of thing,
right? Because you can relate to it.
You could relate to it.
I'm sure you've gone out with your friends and been like, yeah,
exactly,
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that feeling of where we know each other so well that we don't even have to speak.
Right.
We just know each other.
It did remind me of like just hanging out with my friends, like either my college friends or my childhood friends or both, and having good times with a couple of beverages, getting a little slightly inebriated, as I always like to say.
Yes. Oh, remember life before COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get that. We'll get there soon again, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Get your shots, people. Get your shots.
Okay.
All right, that's it from us, and we will come back with another review soon. Yes, go check out Another Round, currently streaming on Hulu, and we bid you all a good night.
Good night.